name is Alyssa,
My name's Caroline.
and today we are going to talk to you about disabilities and deafness in the media for our Criticism for the People video.
In this video, we're going to be talking about the key theme that arose among both analyses, that key theme being that people with disabilities or a person who is deaf, that they do not need to be fixed despite common misconceptions.
As you can see within this commercial, a disabled boy is invited to play basketball with other non-disabled boys. They all made makeshift wheelchairs in order for him to fit in. Although it was a thoughtful gesture, it was not needed in order for him to play the game of basketball. Those with disabilities want to feel included without activities having to be altered or fixed. Those with disabilities portrayed in the media are usually, as Stephen Safran stated in his article, Disability Portrayal in Film, Reflecting the Past, Directing the Future. The interpreted media imagery of disability is seen as metaphorical, with stereotypes such as the person with disabilities as the victim, eternal child, and dependent, creating negative attitudes that rest in societal prejudice and obstacles to overcome.
Switched at Birth was an American television show that aired from 2011 to 2017. The show followed the lives of two girls who were switched at birth and were raised by families that were not biologically related to them. In the show, Daphne is one of the teens who is showcased in the show. She became deaf at a young age after contracting meningitis. The show combats the stereotypes of the deaf community while simultaneously educating the hearing public on the deaf community. One of the stereotypes that is heavily combated in the series is the misconception that deaf individuals need to be fixed with a device such as a cochlear implant. According to Debbie Golos and Annie Moses in their article, Rethinking the Portrayal of Deaf Characters in Children's Picture Books, they refer to this as the pathological perspective of deafness. For this video, we decided to focus on narrative criticism for our method. Specifically, we'll be talking about the tenets of narrative criticism, that being the characters, setting, events, causal versus temporal relations, and finally concluding with the coherence and the fidelity of both artifacts.
Starting off with characters, there is a young boy with a disability and multiple boys without disabilities. These boys are considered round characters for the reason that they are unpredictable in nature. The setting of this commercial is in a neighborhood and on a basketball court. The major event is that the boy invited the disabled boy to play and fixed the game of basketball with makeshift wheelchairs. The causal relations in this commercial is because the boy felt guilty the other was alone and constricted to a wheelchair. He not only invited the boy to play, but fixed the game to fit his quote-unquote needs. Regarding coherence and fidelity, this commercial has both for the reason that it does seem like a plausible story. It is common not only in media, but in the society for people to feel guilty towards those that have a disability, and then try to fix them or the situation. So overall, the story rings true.
In terms of characters, there are two distinct character groups that arise. First, we have the hearing characters, or the Kenishes, who do not understand the deaf experience and are the cause of many of the stereotypes that are portrayed in the series. Then there are the deaf characters, Daphne and her friends, who serve as educators to prove to the hearing community that they, or the deaf, do not need to be fixed. In terms of setting, in Switched at Birth, the characters are affected by their setting. For instance, Daphne was a victim of her setting, which caused her to go deaf. She lived in a very poor neighborhood, and she developed meningitis, which caused her to be deaf. In terms of events, there are several important events that arise in the series. First, the girls realize that their parents are not biologically related to them, and secondly, both families have to start navigating new worlds in terms of dealing with common stereotypes. This show has many causal relations as several of the events are caused by the prior ones. In terms of coherence, the storyline does hold up with ones that have been told before. Often people believe that if you have a disability, that makes you not normal and that you need to be fixed. This happens quite often in this series. Characters think that Daphne needs a cochlear implant so that she can be fixed. Because of this, the story rings true with the morals of the audience.